Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Pod. Today's, it's like a last minute riff type of situation, so we will see how it goes. But after the day that I've had, I'm like, this would be a perfect mini podcast. So I am going to talk about doing assessments, and this is for the coaches out there who train clients, and I'm sure that you probably do some type of assessment and testing when you onboard a client. But I can guarantee you it is not as in-depth as mine. And I'm going to talk about it, and then I'm also going to talk about why it's so important and how it actually makes your job easier in the end. But so a common thing that I hear among a lot of coaches who do assessments is you guys are doing you're watching the client move, right? You're like, okay, let me see what your squat looks like. Let me see what your deadlift looks like. Let me see what this press looks like. So basically you're having them do a movement and you're watching them do a movement. And this is the way that I used to do things too when I first started coaching back in 2013. And that's basically what they tell you to do, right? But here's the problem with that is that when you are watching somebody do something like a squat, that is a multi-joint movement. So there are multiple things going on in different areas that you probably want to take a look at. So let's say you're watching your client do an air squat. You're trying to simultaneously look at what are their hips doing, what are their knees doing, what are their ankles doing, is their chest, moving forward. That is 4 different things that you are trying to troubleshoot over the course of a few reps, and that there's no way you're going to catch it all, right? You're going to miss something because you're trying to look at too much stuff at once. You can apply this same thing to something like a strict press. So say you're strict pressing a barbell, or even strict pressing dumbbells, but doing both arms at the same time. You are trying to look at multiple different things again, where is their arm at in relation to their body? Is their elbow straight? Or is their rib cage flaring out? Again, multiple things you're trying to look at. And when it comes, and the reality is you're going to miss something, right? You are going to miss something. And why this is important is because of nagging pain in people's past with injuries and their mobility and things like that. I started seeing so much more success with my own clients and getting them progress and having them feel good when I started assessing people joint by joint and literally breaking it down to the bare bones foundation of how their body is going to create movement. Because if you think about it, somebody's flexibility and mobility creates a movement, right? So we need those 2 things to be able to do a movement. But if we're going right to the movement, we're kind of skipping over looking at their flexibility and mobility joint by joint. So I have been coaching people in this way for 4 years now, and it has, like I said, it's made my clients get better results. They feel better, and it makes my job a lot easier because I already can know what needs to go in their programming before I even create it. because of what I see in their flexibility and mobility. I also do strength balance testing too, where I am looking at somebody's single side strength. Like, again, one side at a time. We're looking at, what does it feel like? What does it look like? And that just makes your job so much easier when you create their program. And why I'm even talking about this is because I have been working through an assessment review with somebody, and I'm reviewing all of her testing today. And in total, it has taken me 2 hours to review all of her videos, write down the feedback, analyze, like trying to put the puzzle pieces together with this issue that she's having. And like the document, I always put together an assessment review document for my clients, and hers is 10 pages long. And I do have some like pictures in there for a couple of things, so that makes it like a little bit longer, but still, this is packed full of information about how her body moves. And this is going to make creating her program so much easier if she becomes my client, because I already have a really good idea of why she's in pain in the first place, what she needs to do about it, and how we can get her moving forward back to squatting regularly and back to running. And I already have that like pretty much laid out, and it was because I take such a detailed approach to assessments. And this is exactly how you get your clients better results. And like, if you're listening, I assume that, you're making customized programs for your clients, and I just don't know how you're doing that with excellence if you are not getting this detailed in the assessment process. And if you are somebody who's like, okay, well, none of my clients have injuries or aches or pains, I would venture to say that, like, I bet your clients do have aches or pains if they are in their 30s. I've had some clients in mid-20s be in pain, but usually like 30s, mid-30s plus. This client has something going on, I'm sure. And if you are a coach who is kind of like stuck on how to get a client to move better, or like, why does their squat still look like shit? Like, why does their overhead movements always look like shit? You need to be looking joint by joint. You need to be looking at joint by joint. You need to stop trying to figure out what's wrong with your client's movement while they're doing movements. Like, you need to get down to the nitty gritty of like, okay, what is going on here? And what that does is it gives you like all these puzzle pieces, right? So like each little assessment you do is like a puzzle piece, okay? And once you have all the puzzle pieces out on the board, you can highlight themes and you can see, oh, here's how all these puzzle pieces get put together and like create this picture of XYZ issue that you're dealing with. Does that make sense? So that is what I have to say today. That is what I wanted to share with you and riff on. And if you are a coach listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to be able to know how to do this for my clients. I want to know how to be super detailed, and I want to know, I want this knowledge of not only what an in-depth assessment and testing process looks like, but I also want to know how to put those puzzle pieces together and create a program that actually works. If that is you, you need to be in my group program, Programming Through Pain, that is starting on October 3rd. I am in early bird right now, which means there's a special price and a special bonus for the people who sign up in early bird phase, and we're in early bird until September 14th. So you have time, but I only have 8 spots left. So you need to get on it. So if you are interested at all, please send me a DM. I will chat with you all the details. I will answer anything you want to know. But I am super excited about this program and to be able to help coaches serve their clients better, get them better results, and improve your client retention. So DM me on Instagram, AshleyCrocker127, or you can send me an email, ashley@embracestrength.co, if you want more deets on the group program. Alrighty, talk to you soon.